And welcome back. This is your man Warrior. This is going to be a Sith Marauder video. Now I know a lot of people that are going to say, Warrior, I thought you said you weren't going to wail out on him. I thought you didn't like him. I thought he wasn't hitting hard enough. And those are all true. I'm frustrated with him. I don't think he hits hard enough, but I was having no luck in the test account in trying to see where he would be viable. I have so many better mods in my main account, and I do feel like he is a bit buggy right now. They are going to work some of those kinks out, and so I did go ahead and go crazy on him. I want to show you how I modded him, what his abilities are, and what team I'm going to use him on, and it might shock a few people because I know everybody's thinking this is going to bring the Sith back, and very well, he is helping the Sith in what they're doing, but let's go through his abilities really quick, and I want to talk about the team that I use him on. So the first I want to show is this team, and that's right, I'm actually using him as the 5, who's on 5th with my JTR team, with the front 3, of course, BB-8, R2, and Rey, Jedi Training Rey, and then General Kenobi. Of course, with General Kenobi, you can place anyone in there, so there's a variance. But in that 5th slot, where I have Sith Marauder, I've used Han Solo, I've used Thrawn, I've used Old Ben, like on the Tide team. But what's really cool about the Sith Marauder is he is a real plug-and-play character, and he can be utilized on any team, which is why I'm showcasing him in this team, because he's Sith, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to have him in this team until you see his kit and what it's capable of doing. So when we look at the Sith Marauder, we need to first look at his abilities, and the first is just a basic strength through passion. He's just going to mollywhop somebody and put offense down for a couple of turns. That does a little bit help with reducing the amount of incoming fire you're going to be taking, so you can target individuals who are attackers to make sure that they're not doing as much damage. But overall, it's just a basic attack, okay? With one small debuff of offense down. The second, victory through power, is what he's really hopefully known for, and it's the part I hope is a bit buggy and the part that I hope that they fix, but it will deal physical damage to a target enemy. This is where he tosses his lightsabers. It's awesome. He grants all the allies potency up. It says if the attack scores a critical hit, it's going to reduce the target's max health. So this happens after the hit, okay? It goes critical hit, and then they have their max health reduced by 15% until the end of the encounter. Now, what's really cool is the Force shall set me free, where when he's on this JTR team, he's going to have a redonkulous amount of buffs, you know, because they're constantly buffing, and you're going to see that in my video where I go and attack. And these buffs are going to give him a ton of extra defense, making it to where when they hit him, he's not going to take much damage at all. He also has a ridiculous amount of health steal. I've got hits routinely giving him 150,000 health back, which is far in excess of anything he can store, and the tenacity goes up to where it's really, really hard for him to be targeted and debuffed, such as stunning him, because of the ridiculous amount of tenacity. So because he's out in the open, right, you know, he's constantly the one that's going to be targeted in that back slot like a tank, kind of. He is very, very durable, hard to stun, hard to kill because of his health steal, and with General Kenobi back there giving him critical hit immunity and retribution and things like that, and him constantly retaliating, this is going to create a really, really durable character. Now, he also does get a little bit stronger with the debuffs. He'll get an additional 2% critical chance, which kind of ensures he crits. His offense goes up and his potency goes up with all of those debuffs. And then anyone, what says when an enemy uses an ability outside their turn, Sith Marauder gains 20%. Now, with Rebels, there's a bunch of countering that occurs outside of their turns, and with Jedi Training Rey, there's a lot of like BB-8s and Wampas and others that are going outside of their turn, which speeds him up. So this is a really cool ability. Now, what's really cool about his kit is this kit is universal, simple, and easy for the AI to use. It can't be messed up, and you can plug this guy into literally any team. Now, let's look real quick on how I modded him. Now, for the Sith Marauder, your arrow is going to be a speed arrow, of course, and I have as much offense secondary as possible. You can see 76 offense and the 0.66 offense. This is going to be critical damage with speed secondaries and offense on it as well. The bottom right is going to be offense base offense with some speed secondary, not a lot of speed secondary, sadly, but it has some. And this bottom left is protection with speed secondary with some offense. Of course, I'm using a crit damage set and a crit chance set. And when we go in, you can see his health is only about 24,000. That's not super impressive, and I could have buffed his health up significantly more. And the reason for buffing his health up would be because he gains it back. So the bigger that pool is, the more he'll get it back. He's going to refill it every single time, and you don't want someone to be able to single target mollywop him. So you really want that goal to be closer to 30,000 health if possible, and you could make that happen. I didn't do that with the particular set I have because I was looking for more damage than the health regeneration, but his protection is at 43,000, so he's at like over 67,000 health and protection. That's pretty durable. I was able to get 85 secondary speed, nothing super exciting, but it did put him to 227 because he's got a decent base speed. Critical damage at 216. His potency and tenacity will grow, but look at this, 44% tenacity to start and 20% health steal to start. It's awesome. His physical damage, I got it up to almost 3K, and his physical critical chance over the 40% threshold that I'm always shooting for. And surprisingly, look at this, over 31% armor as his armor set as we sit. So that's tankier than even Holdo the tank. That's pretty amazing. So we're going to go ahead and take him for a spin. I want to show you an arena with JTR, how he works and how good he is. Now, I'm not saying he's the most overpowered toon. I'm not saying he's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm not even saying that you should wail out on him like I did. I just wanted to showcase him in this particular setup, the team that I use, because I wanted to showcase how he works. I can be beat on defense just like anybody else. This isn't the character that makes my team more defensible or anything like that. It's equally as tough as any of the other teams that I have built. I like to swipe Rey, however, because of her potential Zeta, she can potentially cleanse those debuffs off her, but I like to ability to block her and take away some turn meter right away. We're going to go ahead and stealth everyone but General Kenobi because I want him to be the one that gets fractured. And I'm going to go ahead and use a basic to clear off the foresight because we don't want to waste that lockable health down. Now, there's only 3 debuffs in here, so we're going to do a basic. And we're going to burn, which of course goes through foresight, which is nice. And I hate not catching that healing immunity, but let's go ahead and do the double hit. We got to really start working on that General Kenobi. And let's get rid of all of his buffs. It does slow down the train he's running, right? Because he's trying to get as much of those potency ups as possible. And so we want to kind of slow that down as much as possible because we're doing the same thing. And we want to be able to have ours go first before his. You want your General Kenobi to be very tanky, so that way he survives this. And the very next person I'm going to go after is actually going to be Thrawn. And because of the debuffs that are out, we'll go ahead and try his ability. Didn't do too well, but remember, he's extremely tanky, and you're going to have him in there for the duration of the battle. And we already get to do ours. This puts a lot of buffs and debuffs. They're going to have a very difficult time putting any debuffs on him. We'll do one basic, move to R2-D2. That was 20,000 on a basic, not bad. And I always leave BB-8 till the end. Because he's such a foresight crazy fool. We're going to miss, hit, miss, hit, miss because of the foresight that comes up, but it disappears before you can see it. And then we'll kill him with this. Now, of course, I took my time, but did you see full health and protection on the entire team except for General Kenobi, who basically took it on the chin for the team. We're going to go ahead and do another battle against a different team. All right, now we're going to go against Night Sisters double tank General Kenobi team with a super squishy tank or a super squishy zombie. Kind of irritating. So the first thing you do is you're going to try and burn everybody. You got to try and get as much of his health and protection off as humanly possible. General Kenobi taunts also because of the damage. So we're going to try and take General Kenobi out as fast as humanly possible, because he's definitely going to throw a rod in our problems. Now, something you'll notice is Sith Marauder is kind of capable of regenerating his health, which means that the plague really will not stick on him. We're going to go back to General Kenobi. And we'll get rid of him. Now we're going to go to Oldaka. Well, we were. This is why this team is so tough. There's 14-5 on basic. And we're going to go ahead and try and take out Oldaka. There was 20k on a basic. And you'll notice when all the other team struggles, that's why everyone likes to use their Night Sisters. We've got Sith Marauder over here just kicking it, not having a problem whatsoever. There's 14k on a basic, which isn't too bad. And of course, we've got it. But this is a team traditionally with Jedi Training Rey teams I would struggle with and have a hard time because of the double tanks. It's just really hard because the double tanks take time to kill them. And this is against an old Tide team, and it's faster than mine. So I wanted to see how this team with Sith Marauder in place of old Ben would do against the Tide team. Of course, I love when it crits, but it doesn't always crit because he's only got a 40% crit chance right now, 42%. Although, like I said, it does go up with those debuffs. We're going to keep working on General Kenobi. Get rid of all those buffs on General Kenobi. The only thing is everyone else is stealthed, so I'm just going to have to pound on him for a little bit. Luckily, their Jedi Training Rey is pretty fast, so hopefully she'll come out of stealth before I kill their old Ben. I'd really hate to give them a huge boost. Alright, let's got to use a basic to clear that foresight, which she's constantly got. Let's get rid of her buffs. And let's try and stun her. And let's do a triple attack on her. And let's get rid of everything that's on BB-8. We'll do a triple attack, which will kill him. Old Ben's over there in the corner. And we'll take him out. You can see still pretty defensible, quite a lot of health and protection. Kind of fun because it's really fun to run the new Sith Marauder. Again, I don't feel like the debuffs are properly being counted for the amount of damage. I find he's doing 10 to 15k on his basic, and on his special, when it crits, in the 30,000s. And I know on the footage that we had gotten, he was doing in the mid 40s pretty easily, and we had some as high as 60,000. So I know on the raids it is going to be a lot more impressive. I'm interested to try him out in the raids and see how he does. As always, leave comments down below about your thoughts of the Sith Marauder running with Resistance, and keep your gaming on. Warrior out.